Hey guys, Ryan here from Travelinsolo. I just wanted to bring you a gear review on something I've used many times. It's the Biolite portable non-fuel stove. I don't know the exact name, but the brand's Biolite. I've had it for 5 years and it's still going. What you see on the front, let's get a little closer, is the pot. Accessory, so it fits inside the pot. It's got a spout to pour, nice rubber handles so you don't burn yourself, and it fits perfectly into the Biolite stove, which is clutch to say the least. So I'll break her open nice and close. I had a little rope here because I actually broke this circular piece underneath. There's a little grab handle, and when I was pushing it back on in Algonquin Park, I actually pushed the circular indent, which was stupid in hindsight for sure, but at the time I had no idea, and it just cracked right away because this is plastic, but this outside piece is incredibly thick compared to this. Not like in comparison, it's not incredibly thick, but all the force you just push down on the outside of the lid every time you want to close the lid is a good idea, because I broke it and you won't if you just do that. And I pull it out of things with this, which seems to be holding together. I can just grab it out of a bag or wherever I'm storing it. So let's open it up. Lid has a little tab on the back to easily bring it off, and it's just plastic with a plastic O-ring. And the stove itself fits in the pot. I just finished the pot, I suppose. Show you the stove after. So inside the pot is a little bowl to keep it protected, and I don't think you can see it on there, but I'll just pull it out. So it's a little bowl. I don't usually eat out of it. It's nice to keep the bottom from getting scratched up and rusted. I use it for the dog a lot, so it's perfect for that. She doesn't care, and yeah, it's just a nice little hard piece of plastic if I needed something else. And then the pot itself is nice stainless steel, and it's all formed with a lip on the bottom, and on the inside it might be really hard to see that, but yeah, you can. So it's got liters and cups on the inside, so when you pour water in it, it's easily to see. So it goes up to 1.5 liters and 6 cups. You could probably get 7, close to 8 cups if you really went up to the top. But 1.5 liters capacity, which has been more than enough for anything. KD is really the biggest culprit of water. So other than that, so the pot's done, and the stove itself is easy. It's 2 pieces, so it just fits inside itself. Just pull out the motor. So it's the motor, the charger, and it's got one button with a couple functions, 3 functions to be exact. The fan, grills, and then the exhaust that goes into the stove, and the copper rod that conducts and produces energy to recharge its battery while it's hot, and that goes in the middle. So you can see the stove, it's just stainless steel, and it's got the back that you attach this to, and the legs, which will fold out. So you just put the copper rod in first, it sits right on there, then you pull out the legs, nice and sturdy, 3 legs, and then it kind of locks it in with that one leg. There's a little plastic piece, and it just locks it right in there nicely, so it's not going anywhere. And then inside you got the copper rod, if you can see. Can't really get it, but it's right there, just sticking. And as the fire goes up, the rod heats up and it produces energy to recharge the stove. And then you just find a nice flat space for it. And they recommend, obviously, that the fire doesn't want to go over top of the motor. So you don't want the flames to blow this way. So if there's wind, you want it away from the motor. Pretty obvious, but some people might make a mistake and then you'll melt your motor because that's made out of plastic. I've had flames shooting over top of it once in a while. I'm pretty diligent with it. But if somebody wasn't, I would imagine you can ruin the crap out of your motor. And then you just I paid 130. I think they go for 160 now. And they have a slim down motor, which is nice. It's about half the thickness, so it doesn't come out as much. But I got a better price, so I don't care. And it's still going. So yeah, so that's the stove and the pot. I'm gonna set it up and use it. We'll get a better angle for you to see that. So I am going to do a liter of water. Nice basic measurement. And I've got a little fire stick here, a little cheat to start it going. You don't need this. You can start it with regular wood, but in this case, I had it at home, so I'm going to use it. Okay, guys. I know I'm close to being out of scene, but I wanted you to see the stove more importantly. And here comes Indy, right in the way. Alright, let's get this started. You stay there, okay? You stay. So I got these fire sticks that are commonly everywhere in outdoor stores. They're kind of a cheap light all when the weather's bad. I'm near communities now, so I just want to get a nice roaring fire going and go from there. So, we'll get the liter of water ready here. Put the lid on it. And like I said, make sure you push down on the solid part of the plastic. And it'll give you a little pop there if she goes on right. So, get this guy going. Kind of got a nice waxy smell. That's for sure. You kind of just start angling them sideways. Crisscross, they describe it. Yeah, a little bit. You don't really need this many of these fire sticks. About a quarter of what I'm using would usually do the trick in the bush. But like I said, don't want to piss off the neighbors too much. So, and you just start with smaller sticks first, obviously. Like every other fire in the world, you do your twigs first. And just go kind of crisscross them as you go in. And you get a good base going. And then you turn on the fan, and Indy's got a stick to play with. So that's good. She'll amuse herself for 5 minutes. That's about all she gets out of a stick. And it will turn itself on, which is good too if it gets too hot. So it's good to start it with no fan on. Kind of lets the fire settle. And then get going. I'm going to enjoy some green tea with this fire. I'm not cooking anything on it. I'm not cooking anything with the water. You can just sort of start putting them on the top too. However you get it going, it'll all melt inside once it gets going. And the great thing about this pot is that you can kind of just shove this stuff in there with it. I usually just use a stick. So I'm going to turn on the fan myself. So one button turns on the low speed of the fan, and it'll get the fire going a little bit quicker. Depending on the wetness of the wood, makes a big difference as well, obviously. You can use anything, really. You can burn anything. That's the great part about the stove. Anything that's combustible will burn. And you can turn off the fan by holding it. That's high speed. You can turn it off. Let it kind of regroup for a second. Kinda is a little bit of a smoke fest at the beginning, but Indy, stop. Indy, stop. Starts to produce a really nice flame. Indiana, come on, stop, come here. She starts barking at stuff. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She's a little small tyke, not that afraid of much, but she'll get on a little bit of a spree, won't you? And you can tell that that's just beautiful right there. That's just burning. No smoke. Burning nice and hot, and you can just keep feeding it, finger length sticks, and she'll go as long as you want her to go, as long as you need her to go. I've cooked multiple things on it with no problem. That's pretty easy. There's no time lapse in that video. That's how long it takes to get it going. Alright, back to the timer. Nope, I didn't resume it. But I'd say about 15 minutes. I'd say that's rolling. Cheers. Alright, so the fan will turn itself off when it is cool enough to separate the two. The fan turns itself off, and I'll show you how to take it apart. Just going to do this by hand. So basically, make sure the nozzle lines up, and push it on. Push the sides. Fold the handle, and we're good to go.